Welcome to Rheumatoid Diaries. Today I decided to talk about the differences between osteoarthritis and rheumatoid arthritis because they are quite different, honestly, and I found a lot of people don't know that. Even people living with rheumatoid don't know that. And I didn't know that until I learned more about it after I found out I had it. maybe a little bit before I found out I had it, because I suspected I had it. So as I said in my other videos, I like to research a lot and learn what I'm in for. And I watched my grandmother suffer and ultimately die as a result of rheumatoid arthritis. So I was pretty freaked out when I found out that I have it. So with osteoarthritis, it is a wear and tear issue where, as you get older, your cartilage wears thin and the discs wear thin, or the cushioning between the discs wear thin, and you end up with bone on bone, which causes a lot of pain. Please don't hear in my descriptions of the two that you are in any less pain with either of them, because joint wise you're not. It's just a different kind of pain. So that's basically the gist of osteo. Wear and tear comes with age. It might come from an injury you've had in the past that turns into arthritis, osteoarthritis. So yeah, so rheumatoid disease, and I call it rheumatoid disease because it's actually not arthritis. Rheumatoid disease is an autoimmune disease, and one of the symptoms of it is another form of arthritis. And this is the deforming kind of arthritis that you get with rheumatoid disease. You may know people in your lives where their fingers are bent to the side and their toes might be all askew, that type of thing. That's rheumatoid. That does that. Osteo does not do that. Osteo might cause, I don't know if you can see it on here, but osteo is in one of my fingers. Well, it's in all my fingers, but you can really see it in this one compared to these. Like this one's bad too, actually, but you could see the swelling and the indent. That's osteo, but it won't curve my fingers sideways, like rheumatoid can do. So just as an example. And rheumatoid, because it's an autoimmune disease, rheumatoid disease, and arthritis is a symptom, there's a lot of other things that can go with rheumatoid that wouldn't go with osteoarthritis. Rheumatoid disease and autoimmune disease actually is your body attacking itself and thinking it's the enemy. So as a result, rheumatoid disease can attack anything in your body, any organ in your body, any system in your body. So again, it's just arthritis is a symptom of rheumatoid. So just for an example, for me, I had mentioned in my last video, I have epilepsy. That could very likely be as a result of rheumatoid that went undiagnosed for me as a kid. I'm not saying it is, I'm not sure, but it's one of the things that rheumatoid disease can cause. Also, rheumatoid for me has taken my bladder. Like, I do not have a bladder, and this is long before I was long before I was diagnosed with rheumatoid. I lost my bladder to a disease called interstitial cystitis, and it got so bad that there was nothing else that they could do but remove it. And that's something that rheumatoid disease can cause and do to you. Another thing that it has attacked organ-wise for me is my kidneys. My kidneys are being watched because there's some, protein in blood that they're finding, and they don't know exactly why. It could be lupus related too, because lupus is known, it's also autoimmune disease and also known to attack organs. So it's quite a big difference. It's not to say the pain in your joints is any less. I think, given I have both, I can kind of compare. Osteo causes me a lot of pain, and so does rheumatoid. But the rheumatoid pain for me anyway, and I can only speak for myself. I'd love to hear from you guys what your experience is and how it feels for you if you have both and you can compare. Rheumatoid for me, my joints feel like a deep hurt, a burn almost, and sometimes it completely, like, it comes out of nowhere and it moves around to different joints where suddenly one day I won't be able to use my wrist for 3 days or 4 days, and then all of a sudden it'll just disappear, and then it'll be another joint that will do the same thing, you know, in another place, like my shoulder or my knees. The pain comes and goes. It just moves around, and it can really blindside you. Really blindside you, and you're sitting there going, is this in my head? Because all of a sudden out of nowhere I can't use my arm or my wrist, or it hurts so bad. Whereas osteo is a little more consistent. It can come and go too, but you can kind of feel it in your joints all the time and know that they're there. It's there, and I think you feel, at least for me, I find I feel a little more grinding with osteo than I do with rheumatoid. Rheumatoid is just pure deep pain of a different sort, a burning pain, whereas osteo I don't find to be a burning pain. So those are the major differences that I wanted to talk about, like particularly that rheumatoid is not arthritis, but a symptom of rheumatoid disease, which is an autoimmune disease. Yeah, and it's treated differently too as a result. Like I mentioned in my other videos, the biologics and the DMARD medications, those aren't medications that are used to treat osteo. You know, osteo, if you can take it, is often treated with like over-the-counter meds like Advil or Tylenol and whatnot. And with me having rheumatoid and it affecting my kidneys, I can't have anti-inflammatories at all because it damages your stomach and your kidneys. The Advil, any anti-inflammatories, so I can't have them. So, the other thing that rheumatoid has affected for me is my, I don't know what to call it, esophagus and stomach and that, where I had to have surgery to stop the acid reflux. It had caused ulcers in my esophagus. It had caused me intense pain, or it was doubled over all the time. So I had to have a pretty big surgery for that. I'm going to go into that in another video shortly because I've had a lot of surgeries over the last year that I do want to talk about in another video. So anyway, share your thoughts with me about your experience with rheumatoid versus osteo, or just if you want to talk about osteo or rheumatoid, I'd love to hear your experiences. And if you feel differences, and if you knew, even if you knew that rheumatoid disease is not arthritis. So with that, I will say there's hope, and hope is a good thing. See you soon.